All right. Well, once again on Terminello's Take with Lou Terminello. You like the new setup, the new microphone, the new system? This is great here.
The system sounds great, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Hope
to
you're
my
doing
fiance
well.
Gabby for making all this hassle. But what a Valentine's Day gift, gotta say. Anyway, I'm rocking the facial hair because facial hair is back for the Yankees. Although some would say it is back. I mean, there were other Yankees over the years that rocked it. They just kind of did away with the beard part. I mean, Mattingly to me is one of the most famous Yankees that had a mustache when he played ball, right?
Yes. Now, I didn't realize it was 49 years. I thought it was from day one. And Mr. Sport the team in 73, but it was actually, he actually instituted the facial hair ban in 76. So, hey, Alex, it's no big deal. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little strange that Yankees held a press conference for the new facial hair rule, but whatever. It's opening day of spring training, and why not? It's no big
Well,
deal.
we got bigger fish to fry today because what happened on Thursday night, according to Sports Business Journal, the most watched NHL or hockey event since 1994, which I have to believe is the Stanley Cup, games the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, but since 94. So 9.3 million viewers watched the Four Nations final. I thought hockey was not a popular sport here, Lou. The numbers are debunking that.
Well, you know how much of a hockey fan I am. I know you are. I know Gabby is. I told you that I was going to watch the entire tournament. I watched every game with the exception of the third period of Sweden and Finland and the over. The hockey was riveting. These players put their bodies on the line, and there's been injuries in this tournament that's going to hurt their individual teams the rest of the way. Charlie McAvoy getting an infection in his shoulder. I mean, I don't even know how that happens. Some equipment scratched him or something, and some bacteria got into his shoulder. But it looks like he might miss the rest of the season. And he was instrumental in the United States' 3-1 victory last Saturday night in Montreal, which was an incredible game. The intensity in that first period. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a guy who promotes fights, but that definitely juiced up everybody's in the stands,
Three in about
the
9 seconds, which
teams.
means every 3 seconds to start the game, there was a fight. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was intense,
And I have a
and
massive respect for the
the game.
Kachuk brothers now more than I did before, by the way.
They any team, any club team would like to have either Brady Kachuk or Matthew Kachuk, and let's face it, Matthew Kachuk showed his in a Stanley Cup final last year playing with a broken sternum. Who does that? A great tournament. I'm going to make a couple of statements here. I'm a hockey fan all my life. I love hockey, but we always hear, not just the other night, we always hear that it's going to bring more eyeballs to hockey. Yes, it will. But is it going to make the jump that hockey is going to move up a notch in the North American sporting leaders? It's going to be football. It's going to be baseball. It's going to be basketball. It's going to be hockey. Hockey's a niche sport. Baseball is becoming a niche sport. But as great as the hockey was, and you got to give it to these guys, Alex. They put their life and they played life and death. This wasn't like this. This wasn't the ice capades like you might see in a 3-on-3 all-star game. They played for pride, and they played for their country, and they're professionals, and they're not making $70 million a year like some other athletes in team
And they
sports.
played full strength for the overtime, and that was huge because, as you know, in the NHL, it's 3-on-3, which after watching on Thursday, they should move it back to full strength. I think that's a better thing for the NHL.
Well, when it comes to a championship game like that, I was so glad that it was 5-on-5. And one thing in the championship game in overtime, when the United States was peppering Jordan Binnington, and boy, every Canadian fan was saying he's our weak link. Why did they pick him? Why did they pick him? He's our weak link. Well, he certainly wasn't weak link in that overtime period. I mean, stoning Austin Matthews 3 times, a tremendous glove save on Brady Tkachuk, and then that icing call, which led to the eventual winning goal. Nobody has shown that icing again. Alex, that looked like it should have been play on. It was so close, and they called offside against the. They called icing against the United States, but it looked like both players were neck and neck. But then they won the face-off. They wound it around. They got it to a wide open Connor McDavid. I don't know how he could be that wide open, and he put it past Hellebuck, and that was it. Game over. But a tremendous game. I love these international events. I've seen everyone best on.
And by the way, Louis, I've been saying everywhere, my podcast, Twitter, wherever, you want to see an American event, you want to see Americans at their best, go to a sporting event, not an organized protest, because of a sporting event, USA, that is real. That is America right there.
Absolutely. You're 100% correct. So great event, 9.3. That's tremendous. A tremendous viewing audience. If the game was on ABC, I think they would have gotten it up around 11, 12 instead of cable. But it strengthened.
Well, how was that? Because remember, the 1980 Miracle on Ice was on broadcast television. This was not on any of the 2, 4, 7. It's very strange to me because you would think that should have been on Channel 7 at least.
Well, the game on Saturday night was on ABC, and I think if they knew how important this was, and not how important, the potential audience who got involved with this, they might have put on ABC. I'm going to give you a little historical fact. Back the Miracle on Ice in 1980. In 1980, a lot of people forget that when the United States beat the Soviet Union on that Friday night in that true miracle, amateurs against professionals, that game was on tape delay. It was a 5 o'clock start in Lake Placid. ABC in those days, it's not like now where you have Olympic 24/7 on so many channels and networks. ABC was asked to move the game to 8 o'clock. The Olympic Committee said no. The Olympic Committee said, show the game live at 5 o'clock. But in those days, that never happened. You cut into the news. And remember, there was no all news channels at the time.
And prime time was such a more valuable spot than.
Absolutely. So that game was on tape delay. That the most amazing event of that Olympics, of maybe any Olympics, was on tape delay. Then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, they showed the gold medal game against Finland live, which the United States was trailing 2-1 going into the third period. So just a little bit of history.
Well, no, there. And I found that the most interesting part of the Miracle on Ice because tape delay normally means they're like in Greece or Italy,
correct. Not
another
in the
country.
United States.
This was upstate New York, and it was on tape delay. It is kind of funny to me.
It's probably the biggest blunder in televised sports history. It's one of the top 5 for sure.
Well, Heidi Bowl's up there, as you know.
But the Heidi Bowl is up there, but this was worse. But if you lived up on the border of Vermont and Canada, or New Hampshire in Canada, or Buffalo in Canada, Detroit in Canada, they were able to see it live because it was on Canadian television.
Eruzione walking out in the Gaudreau jersey, did that make you tear up a little bit? Or
well, it was that was definitely an emotional thing to that I really thought was going to carry the Americans through. I really thought once the Americans took the lead, I thought they were going to win. And when I was watching in overtime, and I saw Matthews in close, and here's a guy who scored 69 goals last season. You figure he's going to get one of them. And the Bennington did the job. Now, they gave the star of the game, the player of the game, to Connor McDavid, who did not have a great game. And I know usually in Stanley Cup final, in Stanley Cup playoffs, and in big games, the overtime. But in this case, the first star was Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, I mean the guy was on his head. And I feel like he had me eating crow because remember, I probably was on the show saying, Jordan's a little older now and he's it. But look He went back to his 20s to win that goal, that Four Nations Cup for
Yeah,
them.
no,
I mean, he looked
he was a
young.
difference. I mean, Connor McDavid doesn't get a chance to score that goal if Binnington didn't stop Matthews 3 times and that incredible glove save on Brady Tkachuk.
And you know
But
what? Because the Rangers may not have a chance this year, Gabby's not going to want me to say this, but it looks like they may not have a chance this year. McDavid just got to win the cup now. Complete it, okay? Complete it, win your Stanley Cup, and then we can all move on from that. So,
well, that's going into the postseason. That's going to be one of the main storylines. Can Connor McDavid win his first cup? So we'll see.
but I tell you, there are three rivalries I now want to see because I was alive in 2010 when they lost to Canada. So that's one of the top three rivalries I want to see the U.S. win. I want to see the Yankees beat the Astros in the postseason, and I want to see the Chiefs beat the Bills. Can I see any of that in my lifetime, Lou? Is that possible?
Well, you can see that in your lifetime. I want to say something about the second one. You want to see the Yankees beat the Astros? I'm not so sure the Astros are going to make the playoffs. The way
they just seem totally dismantled. I don't know what's going on there, but
no doubt about it. So you may not have to worry about that.
And whatever you say about 2017, they had a core, and that core has literally broken up this offseason a little bit more.
It is. I don't understand it, but what can I say?
Well, there's that. And I wanted to say one more thing comparing NBA and NHL. So last Saturday was a dunk contest versus USA versus Canada, and I truly believe more people watch USA versus Canada, and I think you're going to see more that carry over into the regular season part 2, right? And also in the postseason, only because you're looking at the NBA scores. We've talked about it before. Who's going to watch 150 to 127 game? That's not watchable anymore, Lou.
No, it isn't. And I'm going to, and I have been a big critic, and I was in the league for almost 30 years. I've been a big critic of the state of play in the NBA, but I'm going to give them a little break on people comparing the All-Star weekend, which I did not watch 1 second, Alex. I didn't watch 1 second, to the Four Nations. Let's face it. Last year, the NHL had a similar thing. That dunk 3-on-3, the Metropolitan Division versus the Atlantic Division, the Pacific versus the Central. Those not so attractive skill competitions. So that's unfair to the NBA. But as Subban said the other night, these guys gave their heart and soul in the tournament.
Well, because it was more than just East and West. It was literally
5, 6, 7 times more money. He said, I don't think you can get NBA players to do that. And I think
more than just East versus West. It was literally country versus country. That's
what it was. You heard what Brendan Hagel said. I'm doing this for my flag.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was nice to hear the USA chants. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, and obviously I want to see the USA win. And another thing that might help, and I know we hate to say this, but it's a fact of life. The USA Canada game on Thursday night was the most heavily bet game by all the sports books of any hockey game in history. And again, I'm not. This betting is scary, and it's going to blow up someday, and it's not going to be good. But that does show you interest in the event, and it also shows you how betting affects people's interest in the sport. Alex, we've said it 1,000 times. That's why the NFL, I know it's a once a week thing, so it's a little bit different, but between betting and fantasy football, that really helps the NFL.
Right. And we always know that there's concerns with these players, refs, whatever. Now an umpire could get mixed up in this crap. Yeah. So there's that concern too. And I wanted to give a shout out to Brock Nelson, who repped Team USA and also the Islanders. I mean, I was talking about the 4 Rangers, but there was an Islander on Team USA this week as well.
And he hit the post the other night in the second period. So in a game that close, a post shot make all the difference in the world. And on Monday night, the game was meaningless, and there wasn't a lot of intensity in the Sweden-USA game. USA hit the post 5 times.
Now, the other thing about these players individually is you go back to your respective teams. Win or lose, I think you're a little more fired up heading into the second part of the season, right?
I would say so. Now, again, when the season resumes, it's going to resume today. And I wonder how many players who played in the tournament are not playing today to rest up.
That would hurt the Rangers in a sense because they have a game today, and they, I think they have a game today, and
Yeah, I
Kreider,
think they're playing Buffalo today.
Trocheck, they're kind of the soul of that team right now. So
And
hopefully,
Trocheck, I think, hurt his finger in the championship game the
oh
other
yeah,
night.
there were injuries, no doubt about it. So we'll have to see. Anyway, Lou, so that we're past this now, and now uh, I was watching World Baseball Classic qualifiers because now we're into that already. I mean, the time's flying here, Lou.
Well, you know what I think about the World Baseball Classic. I don't think much of it. So,
By the way, I just was thinking about that. That's another rivalry I want to see because the USA has lost to Japan now, multiple World Baseball Classics in a row. Maybe that can change one year. I don't know.
it could. And, probably if they can move it from March, where we really don't care, for 2 weeks.
Actually,
yeah,
how
maybe
cool? That's
that
true
would be
too.
good.
And how cool would it be instead of a home run derby, you have like the World Baseball Classic,
Yeah,
and
sure.
even they do a derby before that. Something fun like that. So
Alex, how about the Major League Baseball ESPN divorce after 36 seasons?
God rest Joe Morgan's soul. I think John Miller's still around. I know
Yes,
he's still
he
doing
is. He's still doing
Giants
games
games.
for the.
But like I'd want him on to talk about that because he and Joe were the voice of that ESPN Sunday night for many years.
Absolutely.
I actually love listening to them call, especially when he said Carlos Beltran. I love that line. But it was a part of our Sunday nights, right?
It is.
Now I
It
think what's
was.
happened is I'm actually surprised ESPN wants to go away from. I don't know why, but it's a little surprising to me.
Money. They don't want to pay $550 million a year for the last 3 years of the deal. That's a lot of money. I don't know what Major League Baseball is going to do going forward. Obviously, I just hope they don't sell it all to streaming. Again, I just hope they don't sell it all to streaming.
Well, and you see, I don't know if this rumor is true or not, but Netflix wants either the Fox Sunday package or the CBS Sunday package. I mean, they're getting.
Alex, it's going to happen. It's one of the streaming services is probably going to get it in the next the next round of talks with the NFL. They want the Sunday package.
And you and I can watch Netflix. I just think it's a pain in the ass to do that because I love the 2 and 4, a 2 and 5 dynamic.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
And if they're going to do that, let's hope, and I assume that the technology will get better so we can channel surf and make it easy to channel surf from streaming to over-the-air regular television.
So, now, if they want to take over Sunday NFL Ticket, go ahead. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't care about. There's so many games on these networks. You only need Sunday Ticket if you're a Jet if you're a fan of a team and you're moving from the hometown. If you're an Eagles fan and you're moving to Phoenix, then you need Sunday Ticket. If you're a Jet fan and moving to Fort Myers, Florida, you need Sunday Ticket.
Now, teams may not mind this because it could eliminate the whole you need to sell out your stadium if you want to be not blacked out in your market. I don't know if that's going to be playing in play.
I think the blackout rule, Alex, is dead forever. Because with the money that they're getting, if me and you were sitting in MetLife Stadium and we were the only two, they would still be making money.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, who knows? Maybe that'll be the Jets case because the Jets, I don't know where they're going to go this year, but we'll have to see. But those Netflix things are going to happen this year, right? That's a little down the road here.
A little down the road. But they're alive. It's more than just, it's not a rumor. But Alex, if you want to hear, you want to talk about rumors? I was talking to one of my friends, one of my contacts, who works for the Giants. Possibility. And the only thing he said to me, he said, there is some smoke to that fire.
Now, say that again, because your internet broke up. Say that rumor one more time.
Okay. I was talking to one of my friends who went and contacts at the Giants. And I asked him about the Matthew Stafford to the Giants rumor. And he said, there is some smoke to the fire. How much smoke to the fire? He couldn't tell me. But yes, there is some smoke to that fire. Now, that surprises me from two angles. I don't know why the Giants want Matthew Stafford, and I don't know why the Rams, so close to winning the Super Bowl again, would give up Matthew Stafford. I mean, I know he wants $40 million, Um, but so
And by
there's a
the way,
little.
the way they dismantled on Monday Night Football, that wild card game, I thought we were under estimating them the way they knocked out. I forget who it was now, but to advance on, I thought that wow, we were underestimating the Rams the whole time. They were actually really leader in the West, so they still got
And
it. Stafford
no,
still
and he's a
got it.
great coach, and they got great young talent. They drafted well the last couple of years, so I'm surprised that that it looks like they're going to move on from Matthew Stafford. I mean, it is just very very strange to me.
Very odd. But as we said with the Astros, cores break up and everything
Yeah,
breaks
it
up
does.
eventually. So there's that because Cooper Cup might be out the door too. So we'll have
Yeah,
to see how
and I
that goes.
think that's one of the things that is upsetting him because the Stafford family and the Cooper Cup family are very close friends. And I think he's upset over that. But that's the business of NFL football.
All right. Well, one other thing I want to talk about this week is spring training started, and I was thinking they'd roll out the red carpet for Soto. It was sort of a I didn't notice all the cover. It didn't seem like it's hyped up. Soto's coming to camp, but he's there. I know
Yeah.
Alonso got hit with the ball, but what's your early impression of spring training? I know there's very early on, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, I guess the biggest story of the week was that Soto bought a $92,000 Tahoe for Brett Beatty for giving him number 22. So that shows you uh, how little information is
And
coming out of Port St. Lucie. But there was, I mean, obviously, the Frankie Montos is going to be out 6 days.
that's a story. I mean, that's a storyline because that we've talked about before. What pitching do the Mets have right now? And they still haven't signed Quintana. I think they should go out and try and sign him. I mean, he was a big part of that rotation last year.
Well, again, it was a guy. He was a guy you can rely on. He's not a hard thrower. He hasn't gotten a bid from any team yet, which is really strange. And apparently, the Mets haven't talked to him. So again,
Now, and
I
I
don't know
trust
what.
Heyman on this one. Apparently, Corbin Burns is still a free agent. I didn't know that was the
No,
case.
no, no. He signed with the Diamondbacks.
Well, that was recent then because I saw that he was on the market a couple days ago. So,
He who's going to be very good. Alex, when you look at the Mets, all right, they got Soto. They re-signed Alonso, but are they better than the Phillies? I don't think so. The Phillies have a great starting pitching staff, and they have an incredible lineup. Are they better than the Braves? Maybe. The Braves lost Freed. Acuna is not going to be ready for opening day. Is Spencer Strider going to be ready for opening day? Now the Braves they're such a tremendous organization. But again, the Mets may not make the playoffs. Think about that. I mean, let's look at the contenders right now. In the Phillies, Braves, Mets, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres. That's only in the East and the West.
right.
And then you have in the Central. I think the Central Division is bad, but you have a team like Chicago, who might be able to go 84-78 and finish first, and that'll knock out one of the wild card teams. So this is no sure thing, my friend. Yeah, it's great they got Soto and all that stuff, but there's still work to do.
There's still a ton of work to do because that
Yep.
as the pitching is just not there yet 100%. Now, on the other side, the Yanks have the pitching. I think they're still going to try and get another infielder. I keep talking about
Mm-hmm.
that. We have to see. But they bolstered their pitching, and that's going to be huge.
I think they have a
In the
tremendous
long run.
starting pitching staff for 2025 baseball. I think that's their starting pitching is outstanding.
All right, now this will be a little fun. Have you ever rocked a beard? Because I've always seen you clean shaven, Louis. I've never seen you anything else except the hair and the clean face. Have you ever rocked a beard in your lifetime?
I never rocked a beard in my lifetime. There was one time I thought about it in my early 20s, but facial hair wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. Now you have these beards where they're nice, sliced and shaved down, really looking good. If I did that now, Alex, my beard would have 6 colors, maybe 6 different colors. So, but I briefly thought about it, like in my maybe mid 20s, but nah.
Who do you think he talked to? I feel like he would have talked to Johnny Damon or I don't know who else. Although Damon's a bit against this whole ban, which is so interesting. Lifting the ban, by the way.
Yeah,
But
that is. I didn't see that. So Damon was against lifting the ban.
yeah, he was because he says this is tradition. He was he had to cut his hair and everything after the
Right.
'04 World Series because,
Right.
the boss paid him, so he wanted to honor that.
Yeah.
Now he's against the ban. It's so lifting of the ban. But
I I think the
oh,
Cincinnati Reds also. I don't know. I think they also had it for many years a facial hair ban.
well, that Big Red Machine, they all look pretty clean shaven to me. So All right, but who do you think he talked to? Like just speculation. I feel like he might have talked to Gleyber Torres, who's now in Detroit rocking a beer. I don't know, but he seems to have talked to people all over the
Yeah,
place.
no, I heard this morning. I get that Glaber has a beard. I don't know who he talked to. I mean, I have no idea. But I guess, like I said, it was a good story on a Friday during spring training to get some people's reactions. So
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Tom Coughlin relaxed his coaching style to let these guys play, and they won two Super Bowls under his leadership.
that is correct.
You let these guys be who they are and not restrict their facial hair, you never know. They could lead into two or three World Series here in the next few years. So,
It could, and I think the Yankees are the best team in the American League. I have no idea who could challenge them here at this stage. So we'll see.
well, I think the Red Sox will be interesting to watch now with Bregman. They have a bit of
I
a
think the Red Sox are going to be a little interesting. I don't know if they're going to be able to match the Yankees.
different kind of chance here, so we'll have
Yeah.
to see about that. All right, Lou. Well, that was it. Anything else on your mind for Terminello's take this week?
Um. No, no. That's it. I think we covered everything, and now we'll be getting into March Madness and the conference tournaments, and St. John's is looking good.
I know. I don't know if you've seen the Red Storm Rising. There's a whole thing on Vice Sports. I got to check it out. But Patino's been firing up his guys every game. The Providence game, I remember that when they were down at the half, they come back and beat Providence. Now we know why, because he had that fiery locker room speech. So, he is he's a legendary head coach. And I know he had some issues in Louisville, but I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer coach,
Yeah,
right?
no, he is, and he is a Hall of Famer. And tomorrow's a big game, obviously, at the Garden. And R.J. Lewis needs to be healthy. And we'll just wrap it up here. I don't think, and I could be wrong, we're not going to see a lot of those thrilling mid-major upsets in the tournament. And I'm using R.J. Lewis as an example. He's a great player. He's got a lot of talent. I think he's a possible NBA player, no doubt about it. He was playing for the University of Massachusetts. So he goes to a mid-major, and then St. John's offers him some NIL money, transfers to St. John's. So those mid-majors are losing all their guys. Drake lost that kid DeFreeze to West Virginia. His father was the coach at Drake. He went to West Virginia. But then DeFreeze broke his hand, and he's out for the year. But they're going to, I don't think we're going to see that many upsets, those great 12-5 upsets that we always see. 12 seed beating a 5 seed. So that's it. But I'm looking forward to the upcoming tournament.
And I'm always reminded when it comes to the Big East of how successful John Fent has become. I mean, this guy is all over the place. So kudos to him going from Seton Hall to national in a New York minute here, Lou.
It wasn't a New York minute because we heard him when he was a kid, and he's really worked hard at his craft. And congratulations. He's going to be a star. There's no doubt about it. His star is rising fast.
All right. Well, I'll let him know you said that, Lou. I'm sure he remembers you as well. So, Lou, great to talk with you as always on Terminello's Take, and we'll do it again. The February is almost over. We're getting into March now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's cold. I'm looking forward.
When I'm in DC next week, anybody try to catch a Capital game? Ovechkin's getting there, right?
Yeah, he's getting there. I mean, I know they have 2 home games this weekend, so I don't know what their schedule is like next weekend. But it's always good to go to see the great Alexander Ovechkin. He's going to go over 900 goals, well over 900 goals before he retires. All right, Alex. Thank you very much.
Terminello, thanks for joining me on Terminello's Take today.
My pleasure.